Hey everybody, my name is Josh, and I just wanted to make a quick little video about growing my Florida Everglades tomato and how I've been trying to prune it this year. Because I've never really pruned my tomatoes before. I've always kind of just let them grow buck wild. These Everglades tomatoes can get huge. This thing seriously took up this whole garden last year. It was just one Everglades tomato. So this year I'm trying to trim it up a little bit. So I just want to kind of show you what I've been doing. So here's a spot where I trimmed, but what I've been taking off of the plant is, I think, what they're called suckers, the suckers of the plant. So they got this kind of pattern, and they don't produce any flowers or tomatoes. They don't do anything, I've noticed, for the plant. I mean, obviously, the plant needs leaves to live, but it's got plenty of other leaves, and it just gets so bushy. And I've actually been kind of slacking on trimming this guy the past couple weeks. It's right around Christmas, so it's kind of all bushed up in there, so it'll be a good example. So I've just been taking my clippers and just trimming off all of the little suckers. So yeah, I don't see any beneficial things that they're actually doing for the plant, other than photosynthesizing. But they're not making any flowers. It's not going to produce any fruit. It produces a whole bunch, and they just lay on the ground, and they can get eaten up, by bugs, and looks like a lot of leaf miner damage right there. Which can, be potentially harmful for the plant. So yeah, I've just been trying to trim off as much as possible. This thing's been a lot more contained this year than other years. But you'll notice the pattern, the production comes from it'll grow a sucker, it'll have a joint, and then it'll make tomatoes. That seems to be the pattern of this plant. Check it out, you can see it everywhere. So there's a sucker, a little joint growth, and then more flowers right there. So yeah, I've noticed that all over this plant. Yeah, sucker. Sucker right here. Little joint. Flowers. So yeah, I think that's the best way to keep this plant contained, is to trim it like that. So that's what I've been doing. If you take a look over here, here's one I'm just letting go wild. Haven't trimmed this thing at all. You can see it's quite a bit bushier, not as tall. Definitely didn't grow up as much, but it's a lot thicker. This thing is pretty dense. Doesn't have as many tomatoes on it either, I've noticed. My other one's got quite a few, maybe 30 or 40 tomatoes. This one, I don't really see too much. There's a bundle down there. But yeah, so I think trimming it too makes it have more fruit. I got a couple more over here in a pot that I've just been kind of letting go, and it's a lot easier to see the pattern when they're younger, so smaller like this. You can see, this thing, I think would be beneficial just to trim that whole thing off. If I were to trim this up, I would cut pretty much all of this stuff off. This big branch. I'd probably trim even this whole branch off too, right here. This one coming off to the side. Just tie it up like that. That gets everything off the ground. I think it'll give a nice healthy base to grow up. This plant will be sturdy enough with nothing on the ground, and it can probably look a lot like the one I've got in my garden. Kind of trim it to get everything off of the ground. I think that's beneficial to the plant too. This one, been pretty lazy with tying it up, just kind of letting it do its thing. You can just see how much of a jumbled mess it is. See a lot of leaf miner damage again on that. just think pruning your tomato plants leads to an overall healthier plant and more fruit production. So yeah, this is the guy after I trimmed him up a little bit. He's got quite a bit more airflow, not such a tangled mess, a little more sun hitting this stuff. Oh yeah, look at those tomatoes. But yeah, if you want more info on my experience that I've had with growing tomatoes in Central Florida, you can head over to my website. It's flgardening.com/tomatoes Central Florida. So yeah, I hope this article that I wrote there helps, and I hope this video helped you too. Have a good day. Thanks.